Hi, I'm Randy Hollenbeck, and this is the Music Roundtable. Today on the show, we have hard rock band Lydia's Castle.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Thanks for having us.
It's the way you laugh in my face, so perfectly together until daylight fades. I break down, you tear me apart, criticize with demon eyes and feed on my heart. I show you
I wanted to dig into some of your history, how you got started in music, what age. And Cody, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I've been playing guitar since I think I was about 13 years old when I started. I've always been around music my entire life. My dad and my mom, they play music, and that's how they met. Was actually performing in a band together. So uh, it's been a part of my life. I've been playing guitar for that long. I started off on drums, but I figured the six string life was the life for me. So that's kind of the route that I took. What about you, Tanya?
Yeah, I've been playing music since elementary school. My grandparents owned a music store in Buchanan, Michigan, and I started out on violin, played clarinet, played sax, started singing and writing, poetry and lyrics probably around middle school. I didn't actually like officially get into wanting to do rock until 2013. Being from North Carolina, I was raised on a lot of country music, so I started out with Martina McBride, Reba McEntire, and it wasn't until I heard, Hailstorm's very first album that they put out, and I believe it was in 2013. And I said, I want to do that. And so that's kind of like how I started in music. Was very thankful for my grandparents, my great grandparents who owned that music store. It was called Chuck Day Music Center, which it's no longer there today, but that's kind of how I started getting into music.
Cody, could you name some of your musical influences for guitar?
Yeah, for guitar specifically, I think the obvious ones: Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page, Clapton, all of those guys. One that had like a profound impact on me early as a child was Randy Rhoads. Uh, he had the long blonde hair, the cool Les Paul. It had the whole thing. I really appreciated him and his work ethic because he taught students from a very early age, and he was constantly learning, which was one thing that I took away from him. He before he died, he even wanted to go back to school to learn how to be better. It's like, how do you
Mm.
get better than that? But that was just his mentality, which is something I always really respected, and something that I've always taken with me through everything in life. I always want to be better than where I am right now. But yeah, that would be my main influences as far as guitar goes. Singer songwriter stuff, that's a different story. But guitar wise, I'd say Hendrix and Randy Rhoads were the two main guys that started it all for me.
Tanya?
I would say like, um, it's different when you're a vocalist. You grow up singing to who you hear on the radio. And a lot of that, again, it was country. It was a lot of, Martina McBride is one of my favorite country vocalists. And I would say like probably her, definitely Lizzie Hale, Maria Brink from, In This Moment is definitely another one. But those would be my top three. But I just appreciate a good song, as a vocalist. If I hear it on the radio, I mean, I'm always singing to something. Yeah, there's not unlike Cody, where you're actually like, not that you don't learn an instrument singing vocally, but it's just a little different. I just grew up on country and then eventually rock. So yeah,
Could you tell us how the band formed?
sure. You want to take the lead on this?
Yeah, sure. Uh, we started writing music together in 2019,
Hmm.
and then we really started expanding on that in 2020 during the safer at home mandates for COVID-19. And we figured what better time than, at that point now to go ahead and try to flesh some of these songs out and see what we could really do. And we decided to do that. And once we got the songs together, we demoed them out. We performed a gig or two acoustically. We decided that this is something that we could actually actively pursue. And
Hmm.
once we did that, we sought out to expand the band as far as getting a drummer and getting a bass player, and we've got one of those so far. Um, but we haven't let that slow us down. We've been starting to finally release music now that we've found the producer that we wanted to go with, and it's so the history of the band is pretty short, but it is something that seems to be taking off pretty well, and there's definitely obviously more history to make, as there always is.
Hmm.
And so yeah, that's kind of we're just a work in progress, but we're starting to finally get off the ground. Yep.
And how did you find your drummer? Did you put out ads or did you pick out somebody you wanted in the band?
Well, we didn't really necessarily have the liberty to just pick out anybody at the time,
Hmm.
because we there's still a lot of people that don't know about us, of course, but we were very unknown. We had just moved to Nashville at that point, like maybe a couple of years beforehand. So the way that it happened, I think Tanya put out an ad, and we had somebody that responded to our ad, and he knew our drummer John, and that's how we met John. And John ended up sticking around, and that was how it worked out. It was one of those natural.
He liked the
Um,
music.
it was a very natural progression. He just liked what we were doing, and so we decided to stick with it.
Hmm.
How did you come up with the band name?
The band name, yeah, Tanya, if you want to take the lead on that, that's you.
Sure. So the name Lydia's Castle is something really close to mine and Cody's hearts. So a couple years ago, I was actually pregnant, and right before my due date, we ended up losing our daughter unexpectedly, and her name was Lydia. And at the time, when you're going through something incredibly tragic like that, you really have to stop and like think about, who do you want to be as a person? Because for 9 months you go thinking that you're going to be a mom or you're going to be a dad, right? And so for us, we took that time to think about, well, now what do we do? And we decided we wanted to move to Nashville and do music, do it one more time, give it everything we had. And so the name Lydia's Castle, Lydia being our daughter and Castle just being a symbolic representation of strength, you know, really the message behind it is that there is a bright light in tragedy. You can go through something incredibly tragic and you can build your own castle. You can recreate yourself. You can follow your dreams no matter where you're at in life. But there's always like a positive, bright side, to hard, tragic, unfortunate situations. And so Cody and I, we took that situation and we put our heads down. During the COVID mandate, we knocked out 30 songs together. And, we just decided that we wanted to do some good things within music. There was a lot of like sadness in the world. People were losing people and loved ones, and you know, in a world where there's just a lot of hate, a lot of sadness and stuff, We wanted to do something that could give people hope, So part of Phoenix is about being bullied and rising above being bullied and coming out on top. And that could be relatable to any situation. Any hard situation, you know, if you have the willingness to look for that light, it can be found. And so that is where Lydia's castle originated from.
What city is your band based out of?
Nashville, Tennessee.
When the pandemic hit and live music shut down, what did you guys do during that time?
We just wrote. We also have jobs that we do full time.
Mhm.
So we're not necessarily full time Broadway musicians or cover band musicians, which it turned out to be kind of a bit of a blessing during that time. We were deemed as essential workers, so we were fortunate enough to still be able to be employed during that time. So a lot of it was just honestly just work, come home and write, um, which I think that kind of gave us a little bit of an advantage to be able to not necessarily worry about anything financially, um, and still have the time to sit at home and write. You couldn't go out and do anything, so it was work, sleep, eat, and write, and play music. That was literally all we did.
It was
So
great.
yeah, some aspects were great, yeah, for sure. But it got to the point where we were, itching to get back out there, and we're obviously still dealing with the long term effects of what happened. But
Right.
um, I think it definitely gave us a little bit of an advantage that maybe some others weren't able to have. So we're out of that. We're very fortunate to have come through relatively unscathed.
Right.
When the lockdown lifted and live music returned, um, did you notice like the crowd more engaged or was more energy from the crowd whenever you played out?
I did. I just noticed that there was just this wave of people that, you know, wanted live music, wanted personal, social, face to face interaction. I think it's natural as human beings to want to socialize, you know, working people who work from home, they anytime that they're not working from home, they're chatterboxes. They love the socialization. So when mandates started lifting and people started to be able to go out, I saw just an influx of people who came out and just wanted to support live music more than ever, especially here in the home of Music City. And the crowd participation, the interaction, just the energy that I felt on stage, I just feel like there's nothing compared to that. That respect and that love for music, it was like it resparked it. It was really beautiful.
I wanted to talk about your song Phoenix. It was released February 11th, 2022. Um, w- I want to tell you my take on the song. Um, it feels like there's like a dying of your old self and a reborn of your new self even stronger from that song. I think that's what I got from it. I don't know if that's what you were thinking when you were writing that.
There's a lot of different things I think we were thinking. We try to make it to where our music is relatable to people so that they can put themselves in different situations and really kind of whatever you're going through is how you're going to feel. But there was like a sense of a death and a reborn, you know, and just being able to come out on top. So yeah, I do think you're right. Yep.
Yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on
Yeah,
the
you're
head. Yeah,
you got it.
yeah.
What do you guys got planned for 2022?
A lot. Um,
A whole lot more music.
yeah, that's number one. You're gonna be seeing consistent releases
Hmm.
of music and video content and things of that nature. We're hoping to hopefully by the end of the year get some tour dates under our belt.
Yep.
Start getting out there at least regionally. That's our first step, is to build a regional following, and then eventually, of course, go spread out more nationally and internationally if those places will have us. But first step is getting music out. I think that's number one for any band. You can't really sell a product to people who have no idea what it is in the first place. So um, yeah, consistent releases. That's our main goal for right now, as far as short term, and then hopefully we'll come to a city near you, basically, by the end of 2022.
That is the goal.
Hmm.
How can we get a hold of you guys? Instagram, Facebook?
Yeah, you can get a hold of us. Goodness, we're all over the internet. I mean, we constantly check all of our messages. So you can even email us at info@lydiascastle.com. You can go on Facebook, Instagram, even our website, lydiascastle.com will have a little message box, so you can send us a message. It goes directly to us.
Hmm.
Um, but we love our fans, we love our friends, we love our family. If you send us a message, we respond. So any way that you do that is fine.
That's all the questions I have. Thank you for coming on the show today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Thanks, Randy. Do you have anything that you'd like to add?
Keep an eye out for us on all of our social networks: Instagram, Facebook. Those are our two main ones that we primarily operate out of. We also check us out on YouTube.
Mhm.
We have a music video for Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
We do plan on. We're making an announcement on
Tomorrow.
Monday. I guess tomorrow's the 21st. So I don't know if anybody will see this before then, but we will be releasing a new song in a couple weeks, and we plan to do that pretty consistently each month. So
Hmm.
definitely keep an eye out for that. We've just finished our third music video yesterday, and we've only released one so far. So we definitely have a catalog of material waiting to be released. So
Yeah.
keep your eyes peeled. If you want us to come play in your city, get up with your local venues or local bands to get in
Just
contact with
message
us.
us.
Message us. We would love to just play anywhere and everywhere that we can, and anywhere that would have us.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll be announcing that new single tomorrow at 11 o'clock on our Facebook. And it's going to be a good one.
Yeah,
It's a nice rocker.
yeah. If you like rock and roll, you'll like this one.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having us, Randy.
Yeah,
It
thank
was
you.
really a pleasure speaking with you.
Yeah,